happy. You understand that, don't you? I know. In time it will surely work out. At least, that was what she hoped. But she was different from other women of her social class. Unfashionably taller, more buxom, more independent. She didn't have a line of suitors waiting outside her door, and her grandfather knew it. Time, he scoffed, is something an old man like me does not have. She reached down and caught his thin hand. That is not true. You are still quite robust. Do not deny it. But as she looked at him, there was no doubt he was aging, and if she didn't marry and begin a family soon, the title might, as the Earl so deeply feared, be lost to some distant cousin. The old man sighed. You try my patience, girl, he grumbled. I'm sorry, Grandfather. I am doing the best I can. Krista said no more, and neither did he. Blowing him a kiss as she left the library, she made her way out the door toward the sound of gaiety in the ballroom. But she was no longer in the mood to dance and pretend to enjoy herself. Still, she had promised her grandfather, and the hour was yet early. Making her way through the house in search of her father and her best friend, Coralie Whitmore, who had accompanied her to the ball, she thought of Matthew Carlton and wondered at the possibilities. Leif leaned back against the bars of his cage. In the distance he could hear the odd, lyrical sounds of the machine that played music whenever the travelling company rolled into a village. The sun was out, warming him a little, but his cage was parked in a shady spot, and an icy wind raised goosebumps over his bare skin. The only garment he wore was a spotted animal skin, just large enough to cover his rod and the rest of his man parts. It did nothing to warm him. He looked out through the bars of his cage. In the past few weeks he had lost track of how long he had been confined. Again and again he had attacked the men who guarded him, fought like a madman for his freedom. But shackled and chained as he was, he'd had no real chance to escape. He reached down and plucked up a blade of straw from the damp mound covering the floor of his cage. He had wanted to see the world outside his homeland. He scoffed. He had seen any number of amazing things in this foreign land, seen animals unlike any he had known existed, seen houses larger than his entire village back home. There were people of different colours, of every shape and size. If he was not locked in this cage, he would be fascinated by the sights and places in this new and strange world. But instead, he remained a prisoner, locked up and treated like a beast. In the days since he had been taken captive, he had been laughed at, jeered at, stoned and beaten. The people thought he was mad, and some days he believed it too. Worse were the ones who pitied him. He had seen women cry at the cruelties he suffered. He did not want their pity, but it made him think that mayhap all of the people in this world were not like the ones who had stolen his freedom. Mayhap one day he would find someone willing to help him. If only he could speak to them, make them understand. He said a silent prayer to the gods as he did each day, begging them to help him. Mayhap one day they would. It might even be today. Leif clung to the thought as the crowd began to form around his cage. Tonight the sky was clear, a full moon brightening the London streets. Leaning back against the velvet seat of the carriage, Krista listened to the clip-clop of the horse's iron shoes, grateful that the evening was coming to an end. Dear Lord, I hate these parties Grandfather is determined I attend. Since the night the two of them had argued in the Duke of Mansfield's library almost a month ago, Krista had dutifully been present at every soiree and house party to which she had received an invitation. Currently she was on her way home from a musicale given by the Marquis of Camden. Her grandfather wanted her to find a husband. She had an obligation to see it done. A memory arose of Matthew Carlton and his pursuit of her these past